Hi, it's Elise here at Bowman Library with a whole new middle grade book spotlight. So this week, we are taking a look at books that are the first in a completed series. Because sometimes I love a good series. I love the fact that I can start reading a book and I know exactly what book I'm reading next. And a completed series is even better because then guess what? You're not waiting a year for that next book to come out. But here's my disclaimer on this one. Okay? My disclaimer is, even though sometimes an author says a series is completed, they might surprise you with a new book coming out. For example, Percy Jackson. We all thought that series is done. Rick Riordan announced just a few weeks ago. Guess what? There's a new Percy Jackson book coming out this fall. So sometimes a series is never truly over. Disclaimer over. So we have 6 amazing ones we're going to take a look at. Some of them are some of my favorite series. I can't wait to share them with you. So let's get started. Our first one is Tristan Strong Punches a Hole in the Sky. So it's been a hard couple of months for Tristan. His best friend Eddie was killed in a bus accident, and now he is being sent to spend his whole summer with his grandparents. All he has left from his best friend is his journal, which he filled with stories that he came up with. On the first night at his grandparents' farm, though, there's this weird-looking doll that starts talking, and it's known as by the name of Gum Baby, and it appears, and then Tristan decides he's going to try to steal it, and then this doll starts to glow, and as he tries to stop this doll from, whatever's going to be happening, because he's completely freaked out, Tristan is led to this tree in which he punches a hole through it, and then he finds himself caught between the world he knows and a land called Elk. And it's there where African American folklore characters are gods and leaders. Now, this adventure and the quest that takes off, yeah, it just, once it gets going, it's going. It's completely fast-paced. You're not going to want to put it down. Yeah, if you love mythology, folklore, this is for you. This is Tristan Strong Punches a Hole in the Sky. Green Glass House. So it's the beginning of Christmas break, and Milo is living with his parents at Green Glass House, which is an old inn for smugglers. Now, hoping for a quiet break, that soon comes to an end when 5 strangers unexpectedly appear at this house. Curious, Milo soon learns, though, that each of these individuals have come to the house because they are looking for something they think is at the inn. When the power goes out and items soon start to go missing, the mystery increases, and Milo, along with his friend Medi, decide it is going to be up to them to figure out everything that is going on. Now, this fantastical mystery, and what I love about this one is there's this one big mystery, but there's also like a little mysteries mixed in. You're trying to figure out as well. So it kind of, there's just so much going on. I love it. It will leave you trying to figure out the clues and find the clues, put everything together along with our characters. And I will tell you this, there is a twist you won't see coming. Promise you that. Green Glass House. This series, so good. This is book 1 of the Ranger's Apprentice series, The Ruins of Gorlin. Ugh. If you want a good long series, there are 12 books in this series. You will fly through all of them. I promise you. Now, Will wants to become a knight, but when it's determined that he is too small to become one, he is sent to be what's called a Ranger's Apprentice. Now, the Rangers are a secret group of individuals who are charged with protecting the kingdom, but many people do not trust them. Okay, they think they have their own agendas. As he starts to not only help his ranger, but he starts his training to become one as well. He starts learning skills such as archery and survival in the forest, and he soon gets to put all of this to work when the kingdom is suddenly, surprisingly, attacked by evil magic forces. Will then is called up to help defend his land. The setup for an epic good versus evil fantasy. Okay, like that, like, it's incredible, okay? You will want to start at the second one as soon as you finish this one. You will be on the edge of your seat. There'll be times that you'll be like, you have no idea how Will is going to get out of the situations he does. Like, you will be right there with him, like panic stricken as you're trying to read, okay? Like, yeah, amazing. Book 1 of Ranger's Apprentice, The Ruins of Gorlin. Yeah, if you want a good fantasy adventure, survival, on the edge of your seat, tension filled, check this one out. The Revenge of Magic. Okay, so 12-year-old Fort's life completely changes when he and his dad are at the Washington Monument one day on a field trip, and all of a sudden, up out of the ground comes this ginormous clay monster hand. Yep, just up out of the ground. And while this is happening, in Fort's mind, he hears like this voice that tells him to leave, run away. Fort is like stunned. He's like panic frozen almost. And he doesn't run away. And what ends up happening is this clay hand that's come out of the ground takes his dad and brings him back under the ground. To make things even more confusing, no one else sees this happen. Okay? Yeah, okay? Fast forward a couple of months, okay? Fort's now living with his uncle, and he gets recruited to come to this school that he soon learns is on a secret military base. And it's at this school where it's not your typical school. It's set up for you to have magical training because there's an increase of evil taking place in the world. And they're basically creating an army of kids to fight said evil. Now, Fort wants to go to the school because he doesn't necessarily want to learn, how to work together or anything. He wants to go to learn about magic so that he can take revenge for his father. But when he gets there, he soon learns that not everyone wants him there. And it's going to be up to him to learn quickly and to make some alliances and some friends if he is going to get to last at this school. Action-packed, filled with magic. Again, like, if you want like a good versus evil setup that will take place throughout the whole series, this is the first one, The Revenge of Magic. Amulet, Book 1, The Stone Keeper. Okay. This graphic novel series, I will tell you, starts off on a kind of a low note. Emily, one of the main characters, she's with her parents in a car to go pick up her brother. There's a tragic accident, and her father is killed in this car accident. Couple months later, 2 years later, take that back, 2 years later, Emily and her brother Navin and their mom, they're forced to move. They go to this small town where they start living in this dilapidated house that everyone in the town thinks is haunted. Right? Yeah. So, first night they're there, they hear this noise in the basement. Emily's mom decides she's going to go down there and she's going to check it out. She goes down there, and Emily and her brother are waiting, and they're waiting, and they're waiting, and they're waiting, and their mom never reappears. It's when Emily and Navin go down the stairs into the basement that they discover that there is a door there. And the door is open, and it leads to another world. And they are going to have to go through it, and they are going to rescue their mother. This adventure-packed fantasy, like this unique fantasy, like mystery graphic novel series is one you will not be able to stop reading. If you can get all of them, you can probably sit there and read them all in one afternoon because you're not going to want to stop. Amulet Book 1, The Stone Keeper. And our last one for today is Book 1 in the Sisters Grimm series. This is titled The Fairy Tale Detectives. So, in this first book, we meet orphaned sisters Sabrina and Daphne Grimm. I say orphaned because no one really knows what happened to their parents. They just disappeared one day, okay? So, because there's no parents, the two sisters are sent to go live with their grandmother in rural New York. But here's the other thing. They had no idea their grandmother was alive. For real, they thought their grandmother was dead. So they have no idea where their parents are, and now they're going to live with this strange woman who they all thought was dead. To make things even a little more complicated, when they get to her house, they learn that the town is completely unique, because here's the deal. Both humans and fairy tale creatures, they live side by side. They coexist in this town. Sabrina and Daphne, they then learn very quickly that they are actually descendants from the Brothers Grimm. The fairy tale authors, maybe some of the classics that from Jack and the Beanstalk, all of those. Yeah, they descended from them. Plus, they learn what's happened to their parents. Their parents have been kidnapped, and now they know who is responsible for doing it. They decide they're going to run away. They need to because they want to figure out what's going on. But when they decide to do this, a giant comes into the town, starts destroying everything. Plus, their grandmother and another town official goes missing, and it's going to be up to the two sisters to figure out what is going on and how they can stop all of this and find their grandmother and solve the mysteries and all that good stuff. If you enjoy different takes on fairy tales, having fairy tales incorporated into books, this series is for you. It is a lengthy series. There's 10 books altogether. But again, if that's something you're into, you will love this series. You will have plenty to read for at least the next couple of weeks, depending on how fast you read. So this is Book 1 in Sisters Grimm, The Fairy Tale Detectives. So these are just 6 of the books that we have here at the library that are completed series, first in a completed series. So I encourage you to come on out. Check out one of them. Maybe check out the second one just because you know it's going to be so awesome. You're gonna finish it so soon. Yeah, we'll have them here waiting for you. I hope you have an amazing week, and I hope you tune back next time with a whole new middle grade book spotlight.